Word.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
How's it going? There she is.
I'm
How's
great. How you guys doing?
everybody?
Welcome to the Anything and Everything podcast. We got a special guest today, Ryan Glover.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Sorry,
Ryan.
Thank
we're
you
a little.
guys.
I was a little late.
Appreciate
We're good to go.
Man, I'm honored to be here, man. Thank you, Chester. When you hit me up, of course, I really feel like you're my friend, bro. Since the Talib Kweli situation, like I feel like obviously we were talking about before the interview started about how everything happens for a reason. I felt like that situation definitely was one of those trying situations and stuff that happened, and I'm glad it did because I got to meet you and become friends. So.
Hell yeah! No, it was a good thing. It was a good learning experience, and if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be on YouTube probably. You know what I mean? Because I got suspended from him reporting me, and then I went on here, so it led to this. So it was a good thing.
That's just amazing, man. And like I'm so happy to see like the success you've been having on YouTube and like all the subscribers and views and stuff. Congratulations, bro.
Yes,
I appreciate you.
I I am very proud of McFly. I think he is doing amazing, amazing.
Most definitely.
Thank you.
Hey
So
Chris, hey Larry. Go
I
ahead.
wanted to talk to you about I wanted to talk more to you about what should we call it that the whole Benzino situation if you mind.
Yeah, man, for sure. Like so Benzino, man, I've always admired him as an artist, and like I would never take anything away from his legacy in hip hop. He's an incredible artist. I admired him since I was a kid. The Source magazine is a staple in hip hop. I feel like that is one of the reasons that like I had a great interest in literacy, that magazine, and the part that he played in that magazine. Obviously, is incredible, and I think anybody can take away from him. So when I got the opportunity to interview him, I think I'd heard things about him like we all do, as far as so I was a little skeptical about if like I could get to know him, but I reached out to him. I was in LA at the time, and I sent him a message over Instagram. He FaceTimed me right away, and he was like, "Let's do it." So we did a podcast
That's
interview first in
cool.
Atlanta. I think I talked to you like a little bit before the podcast. It was at the Culture Lab podcast in Atlanta. I paid him the money beforehand, so I was like, either he's going to show up or he's not. Which is like, there's been a number of artists who didn't show up, like where I paid them money or like I gave them a deposit. So like I feel like with those with exchange of money, I'm always a little bit skeptical because it's like, is this person just gonna take my money, or they're gonna like, show up for the podcast. But he showed up. He was like an hour late, but I had like another hour of the studio. So it really didn't matter. I was really just trying to talk to him for an hour. We did that. It was a great interview. After the interview, he remembered like that I've been in Indie Grind and Hip Hop Weekly, and he had asked me like if I was still making music, and I was like saying yeah, like I just released a song called All Shadows Eve like the year before, and I showed him the video for that, and he was like, yo, we should do something or whatever, and he sent me the beat for Different Day. It already had his verse on it, and so I was like, yeah, like I could do something, so I recorded a verse.
That's
I
cool.
sent it back, and then like we went to Atlanta and shot the video and stuff went out cool. Like it was great. Like I rented a mansion in Buckhead, and it was a cool experience. I had a couple video models, and after the video, he ended up I got him a lift like there, and I got him a lift back, and like it was a really good experience. I felt very positive about it. I was happy with how the song came out. So after the video though, he put me on the phone with the producer. The producer stuff wanted to talk business. He didn't mention like I never really had inquired about the ownership of the song. Like I was just
Yeah,
happy
that's
like really
crazy.
yeah to be on the song with Benzino. But so basically the producer was telling me how much like to be able to keep the song on YouTube and TikTok after I shot this video. I assumed that was already taken care of, but we were able to work it out financially, and I paid him. And but unbeknownst to me, like I didn't know like Benzino had been like selling this song to like several other people, So like if you go on like Instagram or like
That's fucked up.
yeah, so like I wish he had been like a little bit more transparent. I was upset about it at the time, but like now I'm over it, man. Like God has like blessed me so much. I just think like, you know, he could have been like a little bit more transparent. Maybe I was a little bit upset about it like at the time, but like now, like I don't really care. Like, I mean, I was happy for the situation. I think the video came out really great. You know, so like anybody check out the song. It's Ryan Glover Different Day. It's on my YouTube channel, Ryan Glover 5129. And yeah, so
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's crazy though, man. I felt like I don't know, because I've heard a lot of stuff about him in the past. So like that's why I was guarded. I didn't want, you know, because you're my friend. I didn't want to see nothing bad happen to you with him. So that's why,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, I was. And then we got into a little thing, me and Ben, you know, and today he kind of apologized. We became cool, and we did the show, and all that was cool. But I was still worried for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I mean, he's a cool guy. Like, I mean, I felt like, you know, he's very charismatic. I just think like, you know, he could have been a little bit more transparent and honest, because I still would have probably done the Sun, but I would have been going in like, you know, as far as like eyes wide open. But like, you know, there's certain, and he did insist on doing a contract, which I kind of declined. I didn't do a contract because I felt like, you know, things that went so well with the podcast, it wasn't really any need for that. But like, I just think like, you know, it's important to cross your T's and dot your I's. So like, you know, maybe I could take a little bit of
100%.
responsibility for like, you know, on my part, not asking like the right questions, or, you know, not necessarily, you know, doing my due diligence, so I could take accountability for that on my part. But also I feel like, you know, certain things like, you know, because he presented it as like, you know, it was an original song, that the song, like, you know, had only been not that the song had never been put out before, which like, you know, really it had is already on streaming sites, you know, so
Right.
It's crazy.
yeah.
That's why I asked you. I don't know if you've seen that recently. There was like this thing going around with Eminem. They sent me something for the verse with Eminem, and that's that thing I sent you. Did you see that thing recently?
Yeah. So like I get the email, like I'm on that that site, like, you know, where they sell those verses. And I've heard like, you know, I've never heard like, you know, of anybody having success like with those verses. And I think like, you know, this guy who I've interviewed before, his name's Nico Carino. He's a independent hip hop artist, and he also is a promoter. And he was basically talking about that company on a Facebook post I saw, where he was saying like, you know, that artists shouldn't basically buy that, like, you know, buy those verses. He feels like, you know, that like, you know, that's how, like, you know, a lot of those companies are taking advantage of artists, and like, you know, they're not really getting anything in return. They're making these people rich. Some people have suggested like, you know, those verses, I was talking to somebody earlier who's in the entertainment industry, some of those verses are AI verses. I don't know if that's true, but like, you know, I think like, you know, you know, like if you have a reused verse of a very famous artist that's been used by 200 different artists and stuff, how is that going to help you stand out in the music industry? That's similar to the situation I had with Benzino. Like, you know, because it's like, I feel like if you're paying for a verse, it should be like a fresh verse that no one else has that you're able to use. So
Yeah, see, that's why I inquired, because I knew, like, I thought it might have been kind of similar to the Benzino situation, and I've seen that. I was like, you know, it's a good idea, because like I said, I've heard from certain people like, yeah, it's a good idea, you get your name out there, but then I also heard like it's a scam and it could be AI. A couple of people did tell me that. That's why I shot it to you immediately. I was like, because I know you would know more about that type of stuff than me.
So, yeah, like when with the Benzino thing, like I guess like, you know, where he's just reselling verses to like, you know, like 7 or 8 different artists and stuff to see how much money he can get out of them. And like, you know, until like, you know, maybe like the song blows. I mean, like it's it kind of like a pyramid scheme, and a lot of stuff in the music industry is kind of like pyramid scheme type stuff, you know, where it's like, you know, they're just milking people for money. I learned from that experience. I think like, you know, in the future, like I only do features and stuff with people who like legitimately want to do the features because they enjoy me as an artist. Maybe I would pay for a feature if like, you know, as an artist, I really respect or enjoy, but like, you know, yeah, like, you know, I'm happy putting out my solo songs. So putting that energy into me instead of giving it to other people. I think that's probably the best way to go. Is like
100%.
put your energy into yourself, invest in yourself. You don't need anybody to help you, to make you lit. Like I think Brother Ali, he said, like, you know what I'm saying, I got my own light, you know, so like, you know, we all have our own light within. We don't need other people to, and I think it feels like, you know, like maybe, like you'll capture that person's fan base. I've done features with like, you know, a lot of like, you know, really like, you know, established artists, you know, from Stickman to Dead Prez, Knowledge from Kids in the Hall, you know, Sky Zoo. So like, you know what I mean? I think like, you know, none of that has benefited me. like, you know what I mean, and stuff and everything, besides the satisfaction of doing songs with artists I really respect and having some music, like, you know, that I can listen to, or maybe like, you know, people who know me, like you get the opportunity to listen to, but like it hasn't like, you know, helped me like, you know, get any more fans, or like, you know, as far as like, you know, in numbers that you would think it does. So like those features don't really help. I think like, you know, it's really making your own music and like, you know, creating your own brand and like creating your own lane, creating your own way. You don't need somebody else's, you know.
Yeah. And no, and I agree with that. I think I had a lot of friends that would always tell me like to get in the studio. This one friend of mine, he even got to go on Shady 45, and
Yeah.
he spent a lot of money to get on there, thinking the same thing, and it had no impact on his career. And then, you know, I've had people tell me this, and I'm like, that's why I kind of push everything into YouTube and, you know, something where I could kind of push myself forward and propel myself, because otherwise, you know, it's a 50-50 shot. I feel like you can have a shot, but you know, you're playing dice at this point.
Yeah, like I feel like if you want to spend like money on promotion, I feel like I've had like success with Instagram ads. You know, I think like, you know, Google, like these are reputable, credible companies and stuff that you could like really get your music out there further. Like I paid for like, you know, some promotion on Fizzler, which I feel like is a really good site. Shout out to Fizzler. Like, you know, I felt like, you know, I promoted the video Different Day on there. Their artist spotlight video that had me up against like other videos, and people like, you know, reach out to me like, you know, saying that they saw the video and they liked it. And I think like, you know, that was pretty great. I do a lot of like grassroots marketing. I think like, you know, for the Different Day, we had Tusi dance to the song, like, you know, which was like cool, like, you know, shout out to Tusi. But like, I mean, I think like, you know, it's just like doing things that make sense. Like, you know, I think like a lot of times people think that, you know, that you can get a shortcut, and like, you know, that if you pay like, you know, the $3,000 to get on this site, or $3,000 and stuff, like, you know, people want to, you know, take advantage of artists. And so like, you got to really be careful, like, before you spend money, and make sure like it's going to like something that's going to really like benefit you as an artist, even if it's not necessarily going to give you a return, but like get you the promotion
100%.
you would hope it would get. So
Absolutely.
No, that's cool, because you know, there's a lot of underground artists that I feel like are able to make it, but I feel like a lot of them are kind of like blacklisted unless they sign these contracts with the industry. You know what I mean? Like they get a buzz out there, but it's like only very few, like Russ, he's one, and
yeah,
even Tommy McDonald, he's another one. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Tom
And that's
McDonald
very
is.
rare. There's not too many of them out there doing
yeah, they
I
have
think
huge fan bases. Yeah, I love both of them, their music,
I
and I
think
think like
Adam Calhoun as well.
it. What's
He
that,
was
Mountain
an
Mama?
underground.
Ivan
Adam
Calhoun,
Adam Calhoun, yeah, he
Ivan
was
Calhoun.
underground.
Yeah, yeah, he's like friends with Tom McDonald. That's the dude with the beard. You probably seen him rap with him. They did some American Verse.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
he
listening
has
to
a lot of a lot of content out. He's got a big fan base too.
Dax. He's done like collaborations with Tom McDonald.
Yes,
Yeah, he's really impressive. Like, you know, as far as like
Yeah,
his grind,
I
like
love Dax.
yeah,
Yeah, I love watching his walk as well,
uh,
where he started and where he is now.
yeah,
Is amazing. Yeah,
for sure, for
I
sure.
love that.
did you? He did a song recently with some chick that sounded almost like Amy Winehouse. Did you see that? I
Wow.
don't know. I've seen like a clip of it, and she sounded amazing. I don't know who that girl was, but that girl was phenomenal.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I was listening to that
But
like a couple of days ago. Yeah, like, you know, he's incredible, man. Like, you know, and like just like I feel like he gives a lot of like independent artists like opportunities to showcase their talent as well. Like, you know, like people I hadn't necessarily heard of. Like he did like that one song where he has the remix, like, you know, several different versions of people like singing on it. It's like, you know, like
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's pretty incredible.
he did that with that one, God's Eyes.
Yeah, yeah,
Was the
that's what
name
it's
of
called.
it?
Yeah, God's eyes. Yeah, yeah, that's cool.
That was awesome, wasn't it? I
Yeah,
think it
it
was
was
everybody's testimonies that they
for sure.
sang all in that one song, and it was moving. It
was that the
truly
one where
was
he's in
moving.
that room with water? Was that the one where he's in the
Uh,
video with water
No,
around him? He's in the.
I don't think so. No, no,
no,
no.
this
That's
it's called. You have to look at. You'll really like that,
yeah,
McFly. It's called God's
I'll
Eyes,
check it
and
out.
it's from Dax. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
yeah,
Do
yeah.
the remix so you get everybody's testimony in there. because that's awesome.
Who's this guy that
Hey,
keeps saying
ad
he needs
creator.
advice for his mom? I keep
I
seeing
know
that.
I seen that,
What's up,
and
guys?
I asked, I wrote in there if he needed help, to, you, I asked. I haven't heard back yet. I'm watching.
Yeah, but EJ, come water. Some advice for your mom. Love her while she is
Yeah.
here. I think it's important, like to always like respect your mom and love her and try to do the best. you know,
No matter
Hell
what,
yeah.
no matter what, she gave you life. And
yeah.
whether she's good or bad,
100%.
just love her. Just love her.
I got a crazy mom, and I love my mom. I don't know if you heard me earlier. Like my mom's crazy, like, and everyone's like, "Your mom's like Eminem's mom," and I'm like, "But I
Yeah.
still love her. She's still my mom. She gave me life, and
Yeah.
Exactly.
I learned a lot from you."
Yeah.
What's that,
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things and stuff I don't really like about Eminem. Like, it was the beginning of his career, at least, where he was like, very like, in his community, like talking about like, and where I'm from, like, we respect our moms. And like, I think like, a lot of times, like, we have like, some very harsh moms, particularly like in the city, like growing up. And I think like, that you got to love your mom, like regardless, like, even if she has Munchausen syndrome or like, that she can be crazy or like, negative or, no one's mom is going to be perfect. And like, how you came into the world, like, sometimes and stuff where, it wasn't the way that she envisioned her life being. I think you got to give people the benefit of the doubt. I think it's important to love your mom. That's one of the messages I never like, really resonated with him. And not to say that he didn't do like some dope songs came from that pain, but like, I hope he reunites and loves his
100%.
mom today. So
Did you happen to hear that song "Highlights" or "Headlights"? He did. It was like a song about his mom, and he was like apologizing basically on the Marshall Matters 2 LP.
I heard about it. Like, what I mean? I
Did you hear
never
that?
heard it. I've heard people talk about it, or maybe like in a blog or something I was reading and stuff, everything I have heard, but I don't think I've ever heard that song. No, that's cool though. So like, I mean, like that's an example of growth. And like, I love to see it with artists and stuff and everything when they can like, see like, like their mind is expanding, because I feel like, somebody like, who's had the success that he has, like, you can't have that kind of animosity,
Yeah,
Exactly.
100%. I've seen videos of his mom recently where she was congratulating him for being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it kind of broke my heart to see her like that. She had like a
Well, yeah,
caretaker taking care of her, and
yeah,
she
Oh,
in the shape she was in. It was
yeah, I don't know if you
heartbreaking to
guys
see.
seen that
Yeah.
video.
It was very
Yeah,
sad.
I
Very
wish he
sad.
would just for his kid, and his daughter. I don't know if you've seen that. She's having a baby now. He's going to be a grandfather. So I think just for that,
Well,
he should try to talk to the mom so she can meet her granddaughter or
just
grandson, whatever
just
it would be.
just for himself, because when that time comes and she's not here anymore, he's going to have a lot of regrets there. He may not think that he will, but he's going to, because mommies ain't always going to be there.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
like for sure. And
That's true.
it's like he's had such a high level of success, and I don't know, like, what he does for his mom, but like, it's like, or what his relationship like, but like from the public viewpoint and stuff, I think like, you can't continue to like, put out that negativity. You want to like have positivity, even if it's not necessarily like, like you want to be on a everyday relationship with them, but like, as far as like, show the person that, you appreciate them for bringing you in this world, because your mom gave you life. Like, what I mean? Regardless of the fact, like, how she treated you, you have to like respect the fact that like, there would be no Eminem without Debbie Maver. So like, you kind of like, got to give her her props,
That's a
because
fact.
you wouldn't be able to enjoy any music if, she hadn't had him and like, gave birth to him.
Exactly. He
And I'm
wouldn't
grateful
even be
for her
here
for
had
that. You
not
know
for
what I
her,
mean?
For sure, yeah. And like, he's definitely been like an artist that is like been a hugely influential, like, to me. And I remember like, being like about 14 years old and like, driving like, through Detroit, like on the way to Canada on a family trip, and like, hearing like, this is
That's
like
dope.
before he was even famous, like, like early like Eminem songs and like, like Murder Murder, and just like, other like, different freestyle
Oh
tracks.
yeah, I love that
Yeah.
song.
and like, you know what I mean, and some everything, just being like super impressed. Like it was just like, I think he won like the rap. This is when he did the Rap Olympics, and he had lost. Like you know,
he did Infinite.
Yeah.
Right,
I
Infinite.
heard
Yeah.
those songs weren't on the CD yet. I hadn't heard like any of the Infinite songs then. I heard those later, but like, you know, it was like more like, you know, like the stuff he did like for like Sound Bombing, you know, like, you know, some of the stuff he did for like Raucous, like, you know, those, that type of stuff. And it was amazing, man. Like, you know,
like the Slim Shady EP. Like the Slim Shady EP, the one before the major release.
So like, you know, it was just
That's all
songs,
it
like
is.
not necessarily like, you know, on any particular project. I'm sure some of them were for projects, but you know how people used to have cassette tapes. This is how. So it was like cassette tapes. So it was just like different songs, like, you know, that weren't. I think like maybe like My Name Is might have been on there, but it was like a different beat. It was before Dre, like, you know, and like what they decided to do.
Yeah, before he cleaned it up.
A lot of the songs he did with the Bass Brothers, but like, you know, like not necessarily, you know, like, because they did a lot of that, the Slim Shady LP album, but like, you know, some of those songs were a little bit different because it was like
Royce Dre had to clean them up.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the talent was there.
That was a great album.
Yeah. The second album was classic. Like, you know, I enjoy, like, you know, I mean, a lot of like, you know, Eminem music. You know, I think like, you know, I take offense like when people say like, you know, as far as like you can't, the people in the hood. And I remember like, especially with those first two albums, I would hear that in the hood, like, you know, and stuff like, you know, through the speakers and stuff. That's how you know, like, I feel like an album's hot when you hear that, like you just walking down the street and everybody's playing that through their cars, and like, you know, it was definitely like that with Eminem, you know.
Yeah, I remember even when I was in alternative, there was this like real like fucking ghetto kid, and he had what should we call it, the Eminem, what should we call it, the third one. What the fuck's the Eminem Show? He had the Eminem Show out. Yeah. I'm like, now Eminem's made it, yo.
Right,
you know what I mean? Because it's everywhere.
Larry, this is Ryan Glover.
Yeah, this is Ryan Glover. I don't know if you guys heard me in the beginning. Ryan Glover was one of the first people to interview me when he talked to me about the whole Talib Kweli situation when it was happening. Ryan Glover, he interviews a lot of famous people and a lot of interesting people. And he's a journalist, and he has an incredible YouTube page, and very knowledgeable. And he's a friend of mine.
Oh, Willows. I didn't know you got timed out. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was great. Like, you know, when you came on to talk about like the Talib Kweli situation, and I wonder, like, you know, just like what Talib Kweli is up to these days. Like, you know, as far as like, I felt like he was such a part of our lives. Like, you know, it was almost like he wanted friends. He wanted to be our friends.
Yeah, it's crazy because he actually, I seen him. I came at him a couple times on TikTok, and I've gone back and forth a little bit on TikTok. And then I told him how I stepped over him. I had that picture of me stepping over him with the AI stepping over Tyronn Lue, and I showed him that, and he got pissed off. And next thing you know, I checked at his account, and he's doing shorts. He's trying to do shorts now, and he's never did shorts before. Like, I wonder where he's getting that idea, bro.
Yeah,
the shorts be working. They can blow up your YouTube. You know, you hit the right one. Bruce Lee the shit out of him. You know what I mean? You never know.
I don't know why we
that
can't
shit
all
still comes
just
back and helps me.
agree to disagree sometimes, you know?
For sure.
I mean, it's a lot more peaceful.
Yeah.
Your walk is not going to be the same as mine. You know, we're all different and we're all unique.
It's the communication part.
Different ways and different walks. So.
Well, like, I feel like I see like how.
Exactly, but it's the communication part.
Well, people feel so intensely about their views, and also like, you know, like live in a time where it's like people would rather be in their own echo chamber where they have like, you know, so many people telling them that they're right. And then as soon as somebody comes and like, you know, says like, yo, like, hey, like, you know, I don't necessarily agree with what you're saying and stuff, everything. It may feel like, you know, that you're kind of being attacked or your viewpoint, or like, you know, sometimes and stuff like, you know, it feels safe to have these ideas, you know, like, you know, that we kind of cling to our identity of who we are. And like, I feel like sometimes and stuff, you know, the truth can hurt, you know, like even
100%.
especially if it goes against like, you know, what you believe in or what you believe to be true, or, you know, necessarily like, but like it's keeping an open mind. And I think like not holding on to like, you know, just as far as like one view, because I feel like, you know, a lot of times there could be two things can be true at the same time.
That's true.
Exactly.
See, my whole issue, like when it came to like all that stuff, like it's about communication, like I said, and when it came to like religion, all that stuff, I never brought anything up ever. But if it was brought up, my motto is, if don't start no shit, won't be no shit. You know what I mean? So
right.
My mom always told me, I used to always hear this, a famous thing my mom would say. She said, I don't start fights, I finish them. And that's how I kind of got that from her. You know what I mean? So that's where that comes from. But I try to keep everything peaceful, and I think everybody's going to have their own certain viewpoints. But it's about respect. And when you don't, and sometimes you have an issue, and I think if you are friends with somebody, you should just talk to them. And, you know, that's it.
Yeah.
And what else more can you ask for?
I love hearing different viewpoints. I absolutely love it. Gives me different ideas
you
to
learn.
Look at, you know? Yeah,
right.
Because iron sharpens iron, guys.
For sure, for sure.
And
like
I don't know everything, and you don't know everything, but what little bit I know and what little bit you know, we can put together and make something out of that. You get what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
You know,
Yeah,
I mean, and
but is that
it's
because of the social
thing.
media era? Because when we were kids growing up, I had friends who were all kinds of different faiths, who parents were Republicans, who were Democrats. We didn't give a shit. We all hung out together. And I feel like now maybe it's because of the internet, it's making us more divided. You know what I mean? They say we're supposed to bring us together on the internet, but I think in a lot of ways people get segmented in their little groups, and they get that little hive and group thought. You know what I mean? That hive mind mentality.
Like, but I would say though, like a lot of the conservative people and stuff and everything I know, or like liberal people I know, like they have friends of like, you know, opposing political backgrounds. I'm sure there's people that don't, but like, you know, I know people who are Trump supporters that are friends with like, you know, people who supported Kamala Harris or whatever, where I know people who supported Kamala Harris that are friends with people who supported Trump. So like, I think like that's still, you know, but maybe it's just online where people feel like, I feel like there's no accountability for bad behavior online. And like people feel like they can say anything, you know, and get away with it. And like even like, you know, a lot of times people just like
because they can hide behind the keyboard.
Yeah, do things for attention, and they know it's no accountability. They know like, you know, that they could, you know, and so like I do see that, and I did see like there were people like, you know, like Talib Kweli who I felt like were actually trying to troll him, you know, and stuff. I wasn't like, I was trying to have like, you know, a meaningful conversation with him, and like, you know, I think like, you know, I can see like why he probably reacts. Because there were people who actually though do try to troll him, you know. So like, I mean, I understand like, you know, how like, you know, he probably has like to have an aggressive response. And like, you know, I felt like, you know, sometimes and stuff, everything I post, I still have people who come on my page and like, you know what I mean, and stuff, everything like, you know, if I post something and stuff, everything positive is like I'm a liberal, or like, you know, so it's like I feel like people just have these ideas and you know.
Yep.
Assuming, you know what I mean? And what they say, assuming only makes an ass out of you and me at the end of the day. You know?
I'm not a liberal. I don't agree with anything that's going on right now, period. I just don't. And that's just my point of view, you know? I think, like, in my opinion, if things don't change in America, we're like on a weighing scale. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure. And like, you know,
you've been weighed, you've been measured, and you've been found wanting. You get it? And that's where we're at.
I mean, I've never seen things in America like so bad. Like, you know, I mean, my lifetime, I feel like, you know, I mean, it seems like there were a lot more homeless people than any other time, like, you know, that I've been alive. At least like when I go down the street, it seems like it's a lot. I live in LA, which may be like, you know, as far as like not necessarily a microcosm of the whole United States, but when I go to other places, I still see lots of homeless people. And also, like, you know, it seems to be the price of everything is rising when food
Yes.
costs are so high and gas is so high. And I go to the store, like I feel like, you know, I went to the store today and I spent $144, you know, and like a lot of that food, like, you know, will be gone tomorrow. So it's,
Yes.
you know what I mean? So it's like, you know,
Good
it's like,
point.
how are people supposed to, like, you know, live like that and, like, you know, be able to provide for their families? And, you know, it just seems like the cost of everything is just getting higher and higher. So I don't know, like, you know what I mean? It just seems very, very,
butter costs $7 now. You know?
yeah,
It's a very uncertain time
right,
now.
for
You know,
sure.
and the only thing that we do know for certain and is God. That's the only certain thing you do know, you
100%.
know.
Yeah.
But that's my dream is to really work with the homeless. I would love to open a restaurant and give the homeless a free meal, at least one hot free meal every day. And I would like to open a homeless shelter for these children that are on the streets because their parents aren't around, or, you know, I would like to open up a homeless shelter for the
Messed up.
veterans as well.
Yeah, it's
You
beautiful.
know, I would love to do that.
Yeah,
That is my
she has
dream.
this idea, like going to culinary school to learn how to cook for them and prepare meals. Like she's really devoted for this stuff.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And I've been in
Now,
I
man,
have
can you?
ran restaurants and everything. So, I mean, I've been in a restaurant since I was 14 years old. They tried to do fingerprints for my job, and I didn't have any from work, from the hot pans and stuff.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. That's what I said. I
Yeah.
said, so you're telling me I don't have fingerprints, right? I started
That's-
laughing. Oh, but
Gotta
yeah,
rob a bank.
oh, we better not. You reap what you sow. If I do bad, if I sow bad seed,
Yeah,
that means harvest time, I'm going to harvest bad seed. That means bad things are going to happen to me. So I'm
Mm.
going to sow good seed.
I
I'm
know.
going
I
to
was
sow
just
love
playing with you.
and things. So so when that season comes, I reap love back, you know?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And see,
I
and
love
in my whole
all
life,
my people.
I voted Democratic my whole life, and because of the whole job situation, that's another reason why I voted for Trump, because I think he'll help more people, and he's focused on that, and that's like really important to me right now, you know, because I don't know, I might have a job. I went for this interview the other day, but that's where I'm at right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I can see. So like
So we need more jobs in this country.
I
Well, and Trump is a businessman, so in that business aspect, he is good, you know, for the country. You know, for the business, I think.
I think so like I really believed in Trump and I supported him in 2016.
Hmm.
I think like you know I supported him versus Biden as well. Like you know I think that for me, like the reason I supported Kamala Harris is I believe that she was just more competent, and like obviously the American people like didn't agree with that, but I think that we'll see. I'm willing to give him an opportunity or a chance, like you know, to be like you know the president. I'm not gonna be negative about it, and I hope he does a good job because like you know the country needs as far as like unity, people to bring us together, but like some of his policies, as far as like you know ending birthright citizenship or like you know certain people like you know he's appointed to these cabinet positions like making Matt Gaetz attorney general. This sounds ridiculous to me.
Yeah,
And
I don't know
also,
why he did that. Yeah, I
yeah,
don't know
like
why he did that either.
and like I don't agree with like you know some of his past xenophobic comments and stuff, but I'm willing to give him a chance and like you know see like you know if his presidency if he's able to really turn the country around, like you know if his policies like you know really actually benefit Americans, you know that's great. I'm all for it. So we can only see like you know how it goes, and like you know the Republicans right now they have the control of the country, they have the control of the Senate and you know the House. So like you know he should be able to get a lot done in office, and you know
That's
we'll
great.
see.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize that. I didn't realize they got the Senate and the House. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like I mean, like a lot of people, like I feel like the Democratic platform. I can see why a lot of people wouldn't get behind it. They've abandoned. Like I think the Bernie Sanders said they've abandoned the working class voter. So why would the people like vote for Democrats, like basically because they're not really concerned about our needs. And I think I see some of that, like some of the issues that they stand on is like not issues that I'm really concerned about, but it's almost the fact though, like also like I didn't feel like I should be voting for Trump because I feel like he is a xenophobe. So it's like one of these elections where I think people were confused, but I think we'll see like what happens. I'm hoping he really can turn the country around. He does a great job and like proves his doubters wrong, but we can only see. Time will tell.
I'm happy that he appointed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. though, because that's
Yeah,
another major reason why I voted for Trump. I really wanted to vote for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and now he appointed him, so that's something I'm happy about. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That Gates thing, I agree with you, but
I thought that was a really good appointment. I thought like Tulsi Gabbard, like I thought that was a good appointment. Like I don't, but like Matt Gates is like
I like her too.
Yeah. Yeah, just
I could see her being president in the future, Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, she's really nice. I met her in New Hampshire in 2019, and she was really awesome. Like, took pictures with my kids, and my wife was there. Like, my wife actually interviewed her, and like, it was a really nice, like, nice time. She was really sweet.
Yeah, that's cool. Because I don't know what's going to happen the next election. You know what I mean? Because now that Trump's not going to be in it, so I think it's going to be a shit show on both ends. Everybody trying to figure out who's going to be the next guy or gal, depending on who you like. You know what I mean? I think that's going to be an issue next election.
Yeah, I mean, like I think anything can happen in the next 4 years. It'll be interesting to see, like who emerges and is a leader, like in the Democratic or the Republican Party. I could see a number of people like right now, like there would be great candidates from both parties. Like I don't want to see like Kamala Harris run again. I mean, I feel like the American people have already decided that like they don't want her to be president. I think like we need to really find somebody who is fresh, like a new leader that we haven't tried before. So like I think she's had her opportunity from the Republican Party. I'm not sure. Probably J.D. Vance is a possibility because he's the vice president. I mean, I really like some of the previous interviews I've watched with him. I don't know a whole lot about him. The only thing I saw like this interview where he was talking about how like when he was growing up, because he was a single father, he really resonated with the movie Boys in the Hood. And he was talking about like, have you seen that interview clip? Or
what, the Rogan one?
No, it's like J.D. Vance, and he's talking about like how he resonated with the movie Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
No, I never seen that. I know he just did an interview with Joe Rogan. That's why I brought up. Yeah, I didn't see that one.
Oh yeah. The Joe Rogan interview was good too, but like it's like this. It's another interview clip where he's talking about like that he really resonated because he grew up like with a single mom, and then he talked about Lawrence Fishburne character in the movie. Basically, he's talking about like gentrification and like how like the system is set up against him. And he said he resonated with that as a white person at a young age, and I was like wow, like what I mean, and stuff, everything. He was kind of like referencing that movie particularly, and like that he could resonate with it because I feel like I see that in my own community. People coming in and like buying up the community and like trying to change things, and not necessarily So it's like
I see that here.
Yeah, and like
I told you, like West Philadelphia, like it used to be real bad, and now like I went there like a couple months ago, and there's all these like white chicks walking little dogs. I'm like, what the fuck's happening? So it could happen that quick. You don't even realize it,
Yeah, for sure.
Where I live has always been that way. It was really bad back before, everybody got equal and all that, and it still isn't the greatest place. So I got out of my hometown as quick as I possibly could. I graduated one day and I said, I'm moving out the next. So I did.
It's tough in West Virginia. Like that was like one of the hardest places, like that, like I was saying, for America to industrialize. Like I know they had call there, obviously. But other than that, like there's like really, like you said, no major cities down there. It's just so it's tough. I would like to see them build that area up. You know what I mean?
I think it's
It's
really
just tough because
hard.
there's not that many rivers and roads that really go there, and the mountains. It's hard to get to. You know?
We have rivers. It's the mountains. You have to literally, if you're when they put 4 lanes through here, they have to blow a part of the mountain off so you can get a road through there to make a 4 lane. You know, so it's a
I got
lot.
you.
It would be a lot to make, a huge city here. But I love it. We're still stuck back in the Stone Age, and I'm sorry. I'm glad for it. I really am. I look around and I think, oh my goodness, what what is going on? So I'm thankful. I feel blessed to live where I live. I can I can go fishing and hunting and hiking and kayaking all I want to anytime
Yeah,
I
that's
want
great.
to.
That's cool.
I can be
And you
one
could breathe
with
fresh air
creation.
compared to where I
Right.
live.
Yeah, yeah, it's always, I mean, unless the hills is on fire, they burned for 2 weeks,
Wow.
but
That's
uh,
crazy.
the, they finally went out. We had a good rain, and now we're back to fresh air again. So
It's cool. Yeah, when she
it
was
is a
live, we went
bless.
for you could see her whole the hills behind her house like all lit up. It was crazy,
Oh, wow.
and we were worried that her house was going to catch on fire.
Wow.
But her
Yeah, my
husband was out there
husband,
with a hose fighting it all night.
yeah, he was spraying our bank down. It
God
got
bless him. He
within
did.
20 feet of our house.
That's really cool.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. And then, I was going to ask you, like, you had many like new interviews or any like projects in the work? You know what I mean?
Oh man, so a couple days ago I was on Let's Make a Deal with Wayne Brady. Check out that episode. I think it comes out May 25th, 2025. Yeah,
Get the fuck out of here.
yeah. Yes.
What? Yo, so
Yeah.
you
That's
met him? You met Wayne Brady?
amazing.
Yeah, I met Wayne Brady, so but it was a great great time. It wasn't the first time I've been on Let's Make a Deal. I've been on Let's Make a Deal before, but I wasn't I've so you got to check it out though. I'm on the episode, and it was just a fun.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So, yeah,
That's
I'll
amazing.
surprise you. Don't give out the ending.
right, yeah. And I'm also right now, I'm back in LA. So I just left. I was living in Arlington, Virginia, and I was having a great time there. I did a number of interviews with different political figures and was covering the election, and I thought that was really great. But now I'm back in LA, so I'm meeting different music artists, and I got some cool interviews coming up, just with some emerging artists, and in a couple days, just. Definitely, you see me with some celebrities and stuff, everything in the future, on my channel. So we'll see. Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. That is awesome.
All right, that's dope.
Yeah, thank you so much for being
Ryan's
here
really
with us.
talented. He
For
does
sure.
everything.
Yeah.
He's a triple
I'm
threat.
learning.
He can act, he can rap, and he can interview people.
Thank you.
I learned a
Yeah.
lot from watching you. Like the first time you interviewed me, I was very nervous because I never really did an interview like that. And
Oh, wow.
I don't know, that helped me, being able to talk to people and stuff.
Yeah.
It was difficult for me, but talking to you really helped me,
Yeah, and that's one of the benefits. I try to let people know, for my interviews, the kind of it could be a warm up, because a lot of times if you, especially if you haven't been on a bigger platform, let's say you get an opportunity to go on Fox News or CNN, it's always good to do a warm up interview, with someone. So if you mess up on my interview, it's not necessarily as big of an issue if you do that in front of Fox News or CNN. So that's kind of how like I try to pitch my interviews to celebrities. Like, hey, like, you know, stuff and everything. Like, you know, we can just do a warm-up interview. So like I'm gonna ask you real questions and stuff and everything, but it's not as high in stakes as if you go on like, you know, CNN or Fox News or, you know, TMZ or something like that. So
Hell yeah.
So what started
Nah,
your
that's cool.
career?
well,
As?
like I started off like as a rapper, you know, and like I had like a little bit of success like early on, like, you know, where it was like in the MySpace area where I like had like, you know, viral songs and like I was living in Los
I love
Angeles.
MySpace.
And, like I was jaywalking across the street after a Dead Prez concert and I got beat up by the police. And because of that, like that led to me being in Benzino's magazine, Hip Hop Weekly. And because of that, like, you know what I mean, and stuff, my MySpace page ended up blowing up. I got like, you know, some record deal offers. Like I decided though, like I didn't want a record deal. I ended up going back to school. After I graduated, I decided I wanted to go to acting classes and stuff because like I had done like a lot of background extra work and like, you know, commercials. And so like I started taking like acting and I fell in love with that. And like, you know, I was able to be on some TV shows. And then like when I was here in Los Angeles, I just like, you know, was trying to find acting work and like I realized I had a lot of downtime. So like I started interning for this guy named John Cohen, who I was telling you about earlier, like I think off screen, where he had this public access show on Jewish Life Television in Encino with me once a month, and he tasked me with finding like a celebrity guest. Like so, he gave me an IMDb Pro account, so I would just like pretty much reach out to like all the celebrities I knew in LA, you know, through their publicists, and like, you know, try to get them to come on the show, like, you know. And I realized like, you know, I was like I could do this for myself instead of doing it for like, you know, Jewish Life Television. Yeah, like I started.
Exactly.
He had a rule though, like where he wouldn't interview anyone who like, you know, like had been arrested or, you know, he wanted like clean guests, like, you know, people who, like. So I realized I was like, you know, we were passing up a lot of guests, you know, because like I remember like Shanna Mokler wanted to come on the show, for instance, like, you know, Travis Barker's like baby mama, like, you know, like
Yeah.
yeah. So it was like a lot of people and stuff. Everything he wouldn't let like people like that go on the show. So like I was like, you know, I could interview people who didn't necessarily have the cleanest reputations or adult film stars and stuff like that and get views.
Yeah.
So and like I started doing like interviews with adult film stars, and like those interviews like right away got like hundreds of thousands of views.
That's
on, like,
awesome.
Yeah, and I was like, I took that opportunity and stuff. I started writing for like Hip Hop My Way, which was a site owned by Saigon. You know, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He was like a rapper.
Yeah, the guy on Entourage. He was on Entourage, right?
Yeah, so like I got the opportunity to interview people like Yes Jules because of that, like, you know, and like a lot of other like, you know, really like, and I just kept building on it. I would use it to like get opportunities to go to shows for free, so they would give me free press passes, and like, you know, I would go out and meet different artists, and like, you know, so it was just like, you know, some of the stuff, everything I started doing because I had like, you know, a lot of downtime. I was like, hey, like, you know, if I'm doing like, you know, and also like when I met people, I wanted to have something to offer them. I felt like, you know, I could say, hey, I could do an interview with you and write a blog about you, or like, you know, as far as like I could, you know, instead of asking people for stuff, like I could actually offer them something. So.
No, and I love that about you. I think you have some of the best networking skills I've ever seen. I see you could talk to a rich man, a poor man, it doesn't matter, and that takes I think that's like, it shows you have compassion. That's a lot of skills, because a lot of people can't do that. You know what I mean? A lot of people like, oh, it's here. Like even when I started coming on YouTube, not that many people would talk to me because they would always act like I'm up here and you're down here, and I think that's stupid. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how many subscribers or where you come from. I think everybody should be able to talk to anybody. And you know what I mean? And I like that about you. I think you're great at that.
Thank you, man. And I appreciate that. I think like, you know, it's important, and I've definitely come across people and stuff, everything, who feel like they're up here, or like, you know, I've seen like, you know, people who, you know, have really touched my heart, like, you know, because I felt like they were so big, they didn't have to do an interview with me, and especially for free. Like I've had like, you know, like people I really respect, like Bill Duke, and, you know, I felt like that was a huge honor for him, somebody like him who, you know, one of the first black directors on TV, directed shows like Dallas, and like, you know, directed like, you know, movies like, you know, like Deep Cover, you know, and like, you know, for
Oh
him to,
shit,
you
no
know,
shit.
yeah. So like, you know, be able to give me like the time of day. So, and, you know, share their story and like, you know, the obstacles that they overcame. Like, you know, at one point he was where I am, or like, you know, where you are, you know. So like, I feel like, you know, and had
Exactly.
he was very open about, like, you know, him having like, you know, problems with drugs, like, you know, early in his career, and how he were able to overcome those issues. And so it's like, you know, it's like that really excites me. Like, you know, it's like, and I take like, you know, from people and stuff, everything who I really believe is just in their talent, like you, and like, you know, just like, you know, other artists, like, you know, and stuff, everything. Like before you had like, you know, 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, or like, you know, other people and stuff, everything, like where it's like you just see like, you know, that they have like, you know, what it takes to be successful, and like, you know, just, you know, early, you're there early, you know.
Yeah, I remember at this point last year I only had 8 subscribers. Ain't that crazy?
That's wild.
8. Nobody wanted to subscribe to me. I would make videos, all kinds of shit. I was on there so I had another YouTube before YouTube was bought out by Google, and that YouTube channel actually was pretty good. I had maybe 2,000 subscribers. I had a couple of videos on there, and then when they wanted you to change your password and your email, I didn't do that. I didn't really understand it,
But
and that
you were
whole
telling
channel
me
got
that.
taken from me. Yeah, that channel got taken, and I started a new one. I didn't really care about it, but then with Talib, making me get banned at first on Instagram, and then I reported him and got him permanently banned, which is irony. I actually had to go on YouTube, and then because I went on YouTube, it actually pushed me forward. You know what I mean? So everything's happened for a reason. I really believe that.
For sure, yeah. Like I definitely believe in that, man. Like I think like a lot of times and stuff, everything, like you can get frustrated, you know, especially with making content, that things aren't necessarily going the way that you want to go. But like, you know, I feel like, you know, with me, like my whole thought process has changed. I just try to make stuff, you know, that I'm proud of. Like, you know, I think like, you know, that's more important to me than anything. Like, you know, stuff that maybe like will help someone, or like, you know what I mean, and that I'm actually proud of, like, you know, the message that is like, you know, put across. And I've done a lot of interviews recently with, you know, people who are evangelists and like spreading the word of God, and like, you know, like to, you know, amplify their work, like, you know, hopefully like, you know, that it touches somebody's life. And I think like, you know, that's what's important, is like, you
Yes.
know, doing some content that actually like will change people's lives, or like, you know, help them, or like maybe give them like, you know, hope, or just like, you
Something
know,
to
maybe even like,
uplift them, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, we
or,
need
or
more of
even,
that in this world.
yeah, even tools that will like, you know, help better their life. I interview a lot of people and stuff who, like, you know, I interviewed this lady who basically teaches people how to apply for grants. And like, you know, she's gotten like millions of dollars in grants, and like, you know, she like, you know, teaches people like how they can get grants, and, you know, be able to get like, you know, basically free money from the government. So like, you know, they could do things that they
Sign me
want
up. I need that.
to. Yeah, yes,
But that's amazing. I try to post little scriptures that help me and that uplifts me, because I know life is hard for everyone right now. Everybody's struggling with something. So,
That's true.
I just try to spread positivity and love, because life's hard. And
for sure,
I've seen how dark it can get, you know? And
for
I don't want
sure,
to see anybody ever be hurt the way I've been hurt. And I don't ever want to be the cause of anybody's hurt ever,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, like, and that's, you know, like I try to be like, you know, very like, you know, cognizant of that. Like, you know, as far as like, you know, I don't want to have like anybody on my platforms that are hateful. And like, you know, there's some people and stuff, everything, like who I would consider like, you know, friends that like, you know, they seem like, you know, they kind of like leered towards like, you know, the hateful spectrum of like, you know, spreading negativity on the internet, because I feel like there's a market for that. I think like Russ like did a post about that yesterday, where we was talking about like when they started
I love
monetizing.
him.
And I think like, you know, like, you know, that's like kind of like, you know, that has really hurt hip hop, is like, you know, because people and stuff, everything don't really, you know, appreciate projects and stuff like I feel like they used to in the 90s. Like now it seems like, you know, because hate is monetized, like people will just kind of like say something like, you know, negative about people's work. Like, you know, they put like a lot of like, it takes a lot, like, you know, as an artist, you know, to put out work. And I feel like a lot of times like people just want to like down people or say something negative about someone's project without giving it a chance. And like, you know, I don't try to do that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I try to like, you know, I think like I appreciate all art. I think like, you know, it's important, like, you know, because people put their heart and soul into it, even if you didn't enjoy the project particularly, you know, you don't have to be negative. And I think like, you know, we live in a
Right.
society where because negativity is so monetized and people can make money off of their opinions and like being funny or like, you know, just saying like, you know, that they don't like something. So
Right. But see, what they don't realize is that negativity every day, it sinks in. And then they
yeah,
become this rude, vile person that's miserable even with their self. Their
yeah,
day to day, they can't even stand their self. So it becomes a natural thing more than them just doing it for fun.
because there's
And
yeah,
self
then,
hatred, and
yeah, it's,
they try to hide it by hating on others.
yeah,
yeah,
because they truly hate themselves. And
yeah,
it's a sad thing to see, honestly.
yeah,
It
yeah,
is.
yeah. And like, I mean, I think like, you know, that we live in a time like, you know, where mental health is so important. I think like, you know, that you have to like, you know, have like love for yourself. You know, it all
Yes.
starts with like, you know, love for yourself, because how can you give love to anyone else if you don't love yourself? So like, I mean, I'm like a big believer in that, man, like just showing love to people. And like, you know, I think like, you know, a lot of times and stuff that there's necessarily some people may not respond to it or may even do something hateful, but like I'm moving in love regardless, man. I'm gonna try to live by that and like just like, you know, have respect for everybody and not engage in negative conversations, like because it's not really worth it. Like I think like, you know, in the past I will argue with people, but like, you know, I've realized this like it's not even worth it, you know.
Oh
100%.
yeah,
And you got to pick your
absolutely.
battles. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I'm
for
learning.
sure.
Yeah. Well, you
I
got
don't
to
know.
realize every action don't deserve a reaction. It don't deserve your time or energy.
For sure.
Sometimes, with people like that, if you
Yes.
just be silent and ignore it, just go about your life.
Yeah, for
That
sure. Because it's like, you know, you can put your energy into so much better things. I think like, you know, for me, like I have 3 beautiful children and I want to put my energy into them, you know, before
God
I ever
bless you.
absolutely,
somebody on the internet that I don't even know or doesn't know me, you know, like they can just talk to
absolutely.
themselves if they don't like my content and stuff, everything. Like, that's on them. You know what I mean? And stuff, everything. If because I love my content I put out, like, you know what I mean? I think like I put work into it, regardless if it gets 1 viewer or it gets 1,000 viewers, I'm still gonna make content. So what is your comment really changing? I think like, you know, sometimes people can make a constructive criticism comment that I'll like, you know, oh, that's a good idea, you know, but
Right. So that's how that's how I deal with it too. It don't really bother me, but like I said, I've worked with the public since I was 14 years old.
okay.
So I don't think anybody could say anything that I haven't heard, and they
Wow.
can't do anything that I haven't seen. So it don't bother me. Like I let it just go.
That's dope.
And that, I mean, it brings me more peace that way.
100%. I just
Getting
think,
rid of Facebook and all that, that gave me all kinds of peace, actually. The only social media I have is YouTube, and actually, I like that a lot. I don't give
yeah, and
people access to me personally
I
that I
think it's
don't want
better to
access to.
focus on one platform too. When I think about it, because when I just focused on YouTube, I was able to push my channel. When I was all over the place on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, it's like you're spreading yourself out and you're not really devoting yourself to each of those. And you know what I mean? And it's not. I don't think it's worth it. Though that's what I agree with you. I think you should just focus on one platform at a time and try to get them up. And if not, you know what I mean? You're going to be scatterbrained, literally hopping around.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people are. I think they're scatterbrained because of this social media stuff.
Well, they
Like,
let
yeah,
people have too much access to them
yeah.
through the social media. And if you don't let people have that type of access to you, you don't have to worry about it. You don't
No,
have to
yeah.
worry about the stress of others because you've done cut that out.
And I feel like there's so many different platforms. I think like, you know, that social media can be time consuming, and it's like it take away from like, you know, really important things that actually will benefit
In
your life, because like, you know, at the end of the day, you have to realize like social media isn't real. I think like a lot of times people like
right.
put too much emphasis.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
not like
Like you have to realize you have real life going on all around you. You got to slow down and enjoy the real life that's going on around you. Your kids growing up, their first time seeing this or that. But if you want to sit at home on your phone all the time, what are your children going to see? Are you taking them fishing? Are you taking them? Are you teaching them the things that they're going to have to know to survive when you're not around?
most
That's your
definitely,
question.
Facts.
Because in their time, it's going to be completely different than our time now.
most
And if
definitely,
we teach them the basics of living off the land, no matter where they are, they'll have something to sustain themselves,
that's beautiful.
and that's just what I try to give. That is my advice to
Yeah, that's
everyone.
We
positive
need
advice.
we need to build more bridges instead of knocking them down at the end of the day.
Well, why burn a bridge when you might need to cross it again? You'll never know when you need that person or they'll need you.
For
Don't
sure,
burn bridges. You can
most
stop
Facts.
definitely.
talking and you can love a person from a distance. Don't burn bridges.
Yeah,
That person was
Yeah,
in your life in a season for a reason,
most
whether it was
definitely.
to learn something or whether it was you put them there and you had to learn to stop placing people in your life that God didn't want there. You get my drift? Because
For
God
yeah,
hears
sure,
and
conversations that me and you cannot.
yeah, most
So the
definitely.
people that we put in our life may not be the best for us. And we do that a lot.
you
And
can
God
get a
has to
rose
remove
in
them.
a field of weeds.
And it
Yeah.
hurts. It hurts really bad because we've connected or trauma bonded or something we wasn't supposed to. And it does hurt, but that's something we have to learn from and we have to grow from. That's something you just don't learn. That's something you just don't know. It's something you have to learn.
Most definitely.
But I
WV
have really,
Manchester Fly though, Manchester, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for having me on and stuff, everything. I appreciate you.
Got you.
Anytime.
you
Hell
are more
yeah.
than welcome anytime. And I appreciate you coming on with us. This has
You're
And
been
most welcome.
great. And I
and like
loved
what we're
hearing your
doing.
story.
Hell yeah. And what we're doing, we're trying like to interview people, but then after we interview people, we also give a lot of our guests in the audience the chance to come in and interact with us and talk. Like we could have up to what 12 people in here? Is it 10 or 12?
10,
It's a lot though.
10.
10. But that's a lot of people to
Yeah,
come in here.
yeah. And
Because
so
That's
we
good.
interact with the audience too. We try to do a little something different to stand out. And we like to
anything and
talk with
everything. Or everything and
Yes,
with our
anything.
definitely.
these
But I'll
these ain't just our audience. These are our friends.
that's dope and stuff, everything. Yeah, like, I'd love to come back on anytime and stuff, everything. Like, you know, much respect to you guys.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ryan.
We
We
appreciate
appreciate
you.
you.
You have a good night. All right,
So
guys.
if anybody wants to come up,
I
you
do
want to
love our
drop the
newfound
link?
families. Yeah, I love you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really
Yeah, I
enjoyed
think
it.
I like this idea. Like, I think we should interview somebody and it
Hey,
went about an hour.
Knuckle.
That's what I wanted. If we interview people for about one
Absolutely.
hour and then have the audience come in, I think that's something different and really cool and interesting. I really like that.
Yeah, and we can talk about it. You know,
Hmm.
it's actually, oh, we love you too, Nacho Daddy.
Where's Black Lion at?
When we're interviewing JC, we kind of want them to talk about what they're going to talk about and have the floor, because they're a guest, and I don't want to, be rude or anything to with them. We asked him to come on to talk about his success and how he got where he was and things like that. And I just wanted to be respectful. That's
Hmm.
all. It wasn't nothing against anybody. I just wanted
I'm just
to
like
be
this.
respectful.
Got you. Yeah, I
Oh,
wanted to try
she was
something
there for a
different,
minute.
and then we could have
Yeah.
everybody hop in and get to it. You know what I mean? I like this. I,
Oh,
I really like
Phoenix.
this. I thought tonight was pretty good. What did you think?
I do.
I'm a,
You like it, Larry?
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
yeah, Ryan Glover is a really good dude. He's really talented, and like I said, he was one of the first people to talk to me when I was on Instagram about my situation with the rapper Talib Kweli, and if it wasn't for him, like I wouldn't have been connected to a lot of other people and been able to come on YouTube. So he's a good person. That's why I definitely wanted to get him on here. And I think everything went great tonight.
Well, and listen, he just radiates goodness. I don't know. I really liked his vibe. I really liked his vibe. You know, he
Yeah,
seems like he's very, very intelligent too.
yeah, he's awesome.
I like
Like I see him,
Phoenix.
he's been in like he said. What was the name of that show? We gotta find out with Wayne Brady. What's the name of that show? He said. We know the name of that show, but I want to watch that. He said
I
he's
do,
coming up on an
yeah.
episode with Wayne Brady, so that's pretty cool.
I know. We do have to watch that. I'm excited for him. Absolutely.
What's
So
that
he
humming
started,
noise?
I don't know, he started from the bottom and then made it, you know? So that gives
Yeah,
us hope. You know,
yeah,
he's going to be in an
and
episode with Wayne Brady,
fucking
you
Wayne
guys.
Brady. I'm
Like,
Wayne Brady, bitch. Remember that on Chappelle? I'm Wayne Brady,
yeah,
bitch.
yeah,
I'm Wayne Brady, bitch.
yeah.
That's just so funny. Everyone used to say I look like the
So,
white Dave Chappelle my whole life.
my whole life.
Like you the white Dave Chappelle, yeah.
Wayne Brady is so cool.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
funny.
You guys hear me?
yes.
Yeah. Can you hear
Okay.
us, Larry?
Yes.
Okay.
I got some new headphones.
Let's make a
Oh, that's
deal.
cool. That's what it is. Are they
Yeah.
plugged in your phone?
Phoenix got it.
Yes.
Yeah, when you move, that the cable's wiggling a little bit. I can hear it a little bit, just a little bit. I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's good now. Yeah, yeah, just like push it in a little bit. I'm saying sometimes that shit helps.
These are cheap.
But I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a great idea to start getting interviews, and I want to start looking for people who want to do interviews and tell their story or whatever they're going
Yes,
through. Like, so like, it
even
doesn't have to
our
be.
family. Yes,
And we
anybody that
gotta.
wants to come on and tell their story, you're more than welcome. We will interview you guys.
Who's that
100%.
guy? You know who that guy is?
Yeah.
I'll let him in.
That's
Fuck it.
McWig Splitter.
What up, Chester?
What you doing?
Oh, what's good, homie?
Just
You know
chilling like a
McWig
villain,
Splitter, Chester.
Oh yeah,
watching
yeah.
the Wisconsin Oregon game.
That's cool.
Who's with it?
Wisconsin 10-6.
Who do you want to win?
Oregon.
Oregon.
Oh
Oregon's cool.
no. So they're
Wisconsin's in the Big Ten, so I always root for the other Big Ten teams to lose because I'm a University of Michigan fan. So
That's cool.
Is Ryan on YouTube?
Yeah. Ryan Glover's on
Yeah.
YouTube. When we're done this episode, I'm gonna drop his ad sign and everything on there, so you guys, and then I'll even make a post about it on the Anything and Everything podcast and mine as well.
Yes. And you guys go
Okay.
subscribe to him. Absolutely. And we
And
have
then
our
we also
email
got
up and
another
running.
channel. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we got another channel,
Yes.
Anything and Everything podcast channel on YouTube. So
And
subscribe,
we're
everybody.
actually streaming right now on the podcast channel. So
Yeah, that's
you
pretty
can hop
cool.
over there. We're streaming live there too. We're streaming live 3 different channels tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I subscribe to that channel.
Thank you, Larry. Thank
So,
you.
what do you think about the Eagles, man? I think the Eagles been killing it though. You see that
Man, this
last
is
game?
what I think. All roads in the north lead through Detroit.
Well, I told you. Remember in the beginning of the season, I said we're going to end up playing the Lions in the NFC Championship game. I told you. I predicted this shit. You remember, right?
Yeah, with the
Nacho
Lions
Daddy,
coming out with the win.
Nah, man. It
whenever
depends. Yo, I'll tell you
whenever
what. It
you
depends who
figure
has
it
home
out,
field.
you tell me. Hey, Betty Scooby.
So if the Lions lose a game or two down the road, they could lose home field advantage. Same thing with the Eagles. So they have to play at their top level right now, and whoever fucks up is going to be kind of fucked. You know.
Yeah, totally.
I'm sorry. I'm just a crazy Eagles fan.
You're all right.
I love the fucking Eagles. Since I was a
I
kid, I
know.
used to go there.
I know.
Going to the vet with my dad. That was like going to the Coliseum back in the day. The shit I saw at the vet when I was a kid was fucking nuts. I could tell you some stories.
I'm going
Yeah, I
to.
saw a dude one time at the Spectrum when I was like 5 take a shit on the floor in the bathroom in front of everybody because it was so many people in there, we couldn't get in time, I guess. And my dad's like, turn around. This is at the Spectrum when I first got there. That place was crazy.
Arkansas played
Oh.
today, but I don't know if they won or not.
I want to get more into other games. We played so fucking early this week. We played on a Thursday night, so like everybody else is going to play on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, my bad. I fat fingered myself out of here.
Oh, that's cool.
That
I've done it
happens.
before. That's what the fuck's happening with what should we call it? Misfit. When she keeps hitting the button or something, kicking herself out.
I'm trying.
At the
If
end
she's
of
on
the
her,
show, she's
No.
able to get in.
She don't hit a button at all.
I was gonna say because I want
The
to go
only
hit the.
button she hits is to enter the studio. That's it. And then it
'Cause I
keeps
want-
cutting her out.
I want to go hit the more button and hit the back button.
Cool. Yo, I messed up the whole fucking episode last time. I got the fucking end when I was trying to refresh the page, and it ended the whole podcast.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yeah.
That's
That was
crazy.
the other day, right?
Yeah, the last episode.
That was
I hit
our
the fucking
last.
end button by accident. My
That
fat
was the
finger.
last podcast.
Yeah, so
Did
we
you
had
watch
like
that
2
bogus ass
episodes.
boxing fight last night, Chester?
What just happened here?
Yeah. I saw it.
Oh,
I thought the girls that
Nacho went
fought
to a different
before the main
room.
event was a good
Nacho,
fight, but the girl got robbed.
where are you so I can make you a mod? I thought you were a mod.
You ahead. I don't know if you could do it during the podcast.
It shows him as a mod. It shows a wrench next to his name.
Oh, you should be good already.
I mean, if you go look on the comments, it shows a wrench next to his name.
Well, sometimes,
Yeah,
and then sometimes it don't. Sometimes it do, sometimes it don't. See, that one does, and then this one does not.
Oh yeah. And yo, Mountain Mama, I got this idea. Like we should make like a guest book that me and you could access, and we could like put people in, like so we know who's gonna be when and where. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But they're like,
Hey,
that's the
Rusty.
issue. Yeah, I mean I think everybody's on a podcast should be able to change it, or you know what I mean. If somebody can't come, like try to know what's going on.
Yeah, we'll have a guest and a backup guest.
Hell yeah. Or, you know, if something happens, just do
Or a
another
video
kind of episode.
or
Yeah.
something. We'll get something ready.
Hell yeah. Oh, but I don't know if you heard what I was saying. I think it depends who has home field advantage, Big Wig Splitter, like in the NFC Championship game. Yeah, I think if Detroit had home field advantage, you guys would have the advantage. But I think if we had to play here in Philly, we would have the advantage. So it depends who gets home field advantage. So like you guys got to win like out. Like we got to do the same. We just gotta keep
Well,
winning. Whoever starts losing is like gonna lose that home field advantage.
we're number one in the North, and I don't think it really matters. I mean, we went into Green Bay and beat them.
Yeah.
We went to Minnesota and beat them.
Yeah, that was a good. That was a win for y'all because they were undefeated when you beat them.
So I mean, I don't think it really
that.
matters. We're just as good on the road. I mean, that game last week was wild.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, but you see how good we're playing, and we're missing a bunch of people.
Where did Larry
Yeah,
go?
good.
He disappeared.
It's like musical chairs.
Yeah.
Somebody else came
There's
out. I heard a button.
JC.
I'm outside having a cigarette.
What are you doing?
I said, I've been drinking whiskey, bitch. You know how I roll. Bitches.
I don't know. I gotta figure out. Oh shit! I have to. He's here.
Bitches.
Love you guys. What you guys up to?
What's up? I'm just having
We
a
love
cigarette
you.
outside.
We're just sitting here
We
chilling.
had to interview with Ryan Glover tonight.
JC was here. He watched every beat of it.
Yeah.
JC, he is a good supporter, absolutely. A good friend. He does
This is my
look for
dog
us.
Kenya.
Absolutely.
My dog Kenya.
So is Mick Wakesplit.
Oh, so pretty, JC.
She's embarrassed. She doesn't want to look at the camera.
Look how pretty you are. You
JoJo
gonna
came
tell
back.
me all about it.
JoJo.
The mirrors are on point, though.
Oh, she doesn't talk much.
JoJo's a good cat.
Only when she's stealing beers, then you can't shut it up.
Oh yeah, when she steals my beer.
Nacho.
We got to go to a great food shop, and I got a great mix of everything.
I don't know. My bone.
Is everybody having a good night?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I just woke up from a nap. I cooked
JoJo
ribs
the
on the
cat.
grill.
Hell
Ate
yeah.
dinner and
Everybody
passed
loves
out.
that cat. That cat gets fucking a lot
The
of
dog
views.
is cute. My dog's huge.
Well, you got those little rabbit hunters. Those little.
I do have some beagles, but my dog that I keep with me at all times is a German Shepherd. He stays right beside me 24/7.
My thing is their bark drives me crazy.
Yeah, it's like a deep bark. Like you can hear,
Oh
you can
yeah.
feel it.
Yeah.
You can feel it in your eardrums when they do it.
Yep. That rabbit hunter beagle bark. Yeah.
Oh, that Baylor. I love them.
Hey, but they do
That's
their
what
job
I
though.
like.
Huh? They do their job though, huh?
Yes, mine brings it back.
Yeah.
Sometimes she can catch it and bring it back to me in her mouth. I love her. I just got a new puppy and I named him Jack the Ripper. And we call him Jack.
I
His
know.
papers say Jack
Yep.
the Ripper.
Yep.
I love it.
That's cool.
I got
That's
him
a
on
great name.
Halloween. He's gotten huge. I thought so.
Her
He's
beagles
tender.
rabbits.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just
And
bring her rabbits.
I have one named Apollo, and his sister, I did name her Artemis
Apollo Creed.
after the Greek gods Apollo and Artemis. They was brother and sister, and they was huntresses and hunters and stuff. So I named them
What do you do?
Apollo.
What do you
and
do with them,
Artemis.
Alan?
I hunt them. I keep them. I heated a lot.
Well, I mean, like rabbit stew, or what? What are you making
Oh
with them?
yeah,
Oh yeah.
you make a stew basically.
I
Yeah,
would eat that.
you put carrots and potatoes and onions.
Chester, we can't see you, bro.
Oh yeah. I'm feeding JoJo outside. I'm charging my phone real quick.
All right, I'm just letting you know we can't see you.
Down with Chester.
Not-
No,
I
we're done
got
with
you.
Chester.
Oh, Mama.
I'm coming back. Never give up on Mrs. McFly.
She
Bacon
said never
wrapped,
give up on
smoked rabbit. Ooh, that
We
does,
like
yeah.
Well, I'm like, they're better.
You can, well,
I
you guys have
It's
seen
fine.
Country with the squirrel. You can make squirrel rabbit the same way. You can put it in chicken and dumplings and
it's
stuff
just
like
weird
that.
because like people like get like, oh, we can't eat certain
Oh,
animals because
Phoenix.
they don't
Get
know.
you some rest, girl. You make them feeling good. And when you sleep, your
Rabbit's
body
like a
heals.
delicacy.
So get it, like, rest while you can. Squirrel brains, squirrel gravy with brains and eggs. Is that what you're talking about, Nacho?
Making me spaghetti. Like,
You make good job.
yeah, I know you make spaghetti. But
Tree rat.
about
I
making
like
me a
those
spaghetti.
tree rats, though.
I'll make it.
You
For
say
sure.
squirrel brains?
Yeah,
Fuck did you say? Squirrel brains?
yeah, you make squirrel gravy and stuff with squirrel brains.
That's
Yes,
That's
yes.
what I heard.
I mean, yo, we got Scrapple here. We got Scrapple here in
Fucking
Pennsylvania. What's up, yo?
the way she speaks is like,
You
yeah.
eat squirrel
I
brains.
with real country boys. Yeah, I'm got a real country boy around this fucking state. This fucking guy.
What do you call this thing right here?
These not real country boys.
This guy.
I got all these people around me that are not real country boys. They are not. They're fake as fuck. They don't take care of me. They don't do nothing for me.
Someone forgot to hit the mute button.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Oh, I'm
Everything
sorry,
and
Phoenix. I
everything.
am praying for you, girl. And I do hope you get better soon.
It's all right. What's wrong?
Well, I do.
Sorry,
I
when
really.
when we hard for me to answer the questions, you know.
Yeah. But you did good tonight. You guys did great. You guys, the back
Yeah,
and
I
forth
was.
was good.
Yeah, because like he interviewed me before, so like I tried to like go with what I remember. I was really nervous the first time, but he actually helped me. He's one of the first people who helped me start speaking on lives and stuff, and not be like embarrassed or scared.
Yeah, I've seen him a couple times on You Know What.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah, fried squirrel is delicious too. Do you guys like frog legs?
I do. I've had them before. I've gone to this Chinese buffet. They used to have all kinds of weird shit. I would go there. I had eel, like all that shit. I would eat sushi. Like my girl is allergic to seafood, so I can't have none of that shit now. All that shit I liked, I can't have none of it. And,
Oh no.
yeah.
Well, see,
I got
we
shrimp
used
frozen
to.
in the freezer. I'm ready. I got them when she goes out one day.
Well, we used to go frog gigging. Like there's gigging season around here. So we would go frog gigging, and we used to do it at night. So we would come in about 2 o'clock in the morning, and we would be skinning and frying frog legs at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. Flour everywhere.
That's crazy. Yo, do you have cane toads where you live?
I'm sure we probably do.
Do you ever hear of them?
No, I don't know
So
breeds of toads.
no. So that's why I'd be nervous to catch frogs and toads because there's this cane toad. It's like invasive, but I think it's in West Virginia. It's all over America. It's not up here though. It's too cold up here. But they got like something on their
Okay,
back
Phoenix.
that if you like licked it, you would
Are you okay?
hallucinate. You know what I mean? That's what Mike
Yeah.
Tyson was talking about. He did that. He was talking about that, like smoking it on Joe Rogan.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I felt,
That's
yo, what'd you
crazy.
think of, did you see the fight? Did anybody see the fight last night?
No, I didn't get to see it. Josh
McGregor, you
had
see
to
that?
be up at 4 o'clock in the morning this morning, so
Yeah, that fight was
and
bogus.
And they waited so
I
late
felt
to
sad
do
for him.
it, you know.
Yeah, I felt bad for Mike though. Like he didn't have his
You
balance, and he didn't want to like. I felt like he didn't want to knock him out because who Mike
he's
is, and that's what made
58.
it hard.
He's 58 years old, guy. 58.
I mean, yeah, he
And
looks amazing for his age.
this guy was 23,
27.
27.
Yeah, see that?
So yeah, that's 31-year difference.
Yeah, but he didn't look good either, though. You know,
I
for
know,
like,
but
I thought he should have
Nah,
looked better.
well, I mean,
Mike rocked him a couple times though.
Yeah,
yeah.
in the first 2 rounds, I seen that shit. He hit him hard. He like stumbled back. He's like, "All right, Mike,
But
stick to
then
the script."
Jake gave him a good
Yes,
one too
Phoenix.
and
Frog
wobbled
legs.
Mike's
Frog
legs
legs are
though.
good.
Yeah, I seen his legs. Like that's why I felt bad for Mike. Like he didn't have his balance. He's old. You
Yeah,
know?
he old, bro. He should have been fighting like another old motherfucker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a Hall of Fame fight, not a 30-year difference. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Man, the whole thing was bogus. If you ask me, every fight went the full amount of rounds.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the
There
chick
was no
fight was a
knockouts.
unanimous draw after old girl kept headbutting her.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I thought
That,
I wanted the
that
other
was some
girl to win.
bullshit.
I wanted her to win, but then the fight, I watched it. Like I just picked a side, and because I didn't know much about neither of them. But then I saw that headbutt and shit. I'm like, well, the other one threw more punches, and I was telling my girl that like if you hit more and you land more punches, like, and clearly like rocked her more, like she should have won. You know what I mean?
Rusty, listen, I believe your country,
Girl, I'm blocked from the
you
podcast. I
know,
can't comment.
who
What?
is,
Oh shit! I got a message from some. Hold on a second. This is crazy, actually.
who's
I'll
blocked
tell
from
you.
nobody
Hold
could
on.
be blocked from here, could they?
What?
Yeah, Jake
I did,
Paul would have never been able to handle Mike Tyson at his prime. If they
nobody's
both
blocked.
fought each other at the prime, it would have been over for Jake Paul for sure.
The chat should be wide open unless somebody blocks somebody.
100%.
On all three
It's like,
channels, it should be open. Did anybody block anybody, guys?
hold on. Hello? No, not from our end. It's from something else. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, not
Good.
our podcast. Some other podcast that
Okay.
I'm not naming.
I'm
I
gonna
gave
I'm gonna tell
somebody
you
an
guys,
invite, so maybe they'll come in here.
unless somebody gets super, super nasty, don't block them. Just time them out. You know,
Yeah,
there's
but you
nothing
should
they
talk
can
to people.
say. Yeah, there's nothing they can say that can hurt me, you know?
I agree.
So,
Yeah, they made fake Chester McFly and a fake Mountain Mama account on
oh
here. Isn't that
yeah, they
crazy?
did. That is crazy, but I mean, I'm flattered.
That's
If
what
I was,
trolls do.
if
Yeah.
I was them, I'd want to be me too, you know?
Take it from a troll. That's what trolls do.
Yeah.
McWig splitter.
But
They
that
didn't do
is,
anything.
I mean, I got fake accounts for me.
Yeah,
I mean,
I had it
At
for
least you're
Talib Kweli.
honest, you know?
I had it for Talib Kweli. You know that. I had like
I
20
do
accounts for that
not.
motherfucker.
I
Because he keep reporting
cannot.
me.
I do good to keep up. Listen, I be trying to look at the podcast channel, and I'll be commenting on people's stuff from the podcast channel, thinking I'm on mine. There's no way I could, you know, have a troll account. I would so mess up.
It's, I mean, when I was fighting with Talib Kweli, I had it because he would report me. That's why I still can't go live on my Instagram on my own. If somebody invites me on a live, I can, but I can't start my own live because he reported me so much. Isn't that crazy?
That sucks. Yeah, that
Yeah,
really sucks.
that's why I came to YouTube.
But it was kind of a blessing that you came to YouTube because you've met all these wonderful people. We
Hell
have a
yeah.
huge family. We have all kinds of friends, brothers and sisters. That
Oh
we
yeah.
care about and they care about us too, you know? So that's a good thing.
There's a lot of good people out here. You just gotta, find them.
Yeah. Well, if you just wait, the right people will come to you and or you'll gravitate toward them,
Yeah.
you know? Like-mindedness. I think we've built a beautiful community of wonderful people.
Oh yeah.
So I think that, and we all try to help one another, you know? And I like that. I like to uplift and help one another. But I think we're going to end this
Oh
one.
yeah.
I've got to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I got you. I got you.
Much
But
love,
I think it went
everybody.
well
Y'all,
though. Like we had an interview,
yeah,
and and I think we did pretty good tonight.
I do too. I do too. I appreciate everybody for coming. And stay safe and stay blessed. Much love and respect to all you guys.
Hell yeah.
All right, peace out, everybody.
See
All
y'all
right, man,
later.
Wig Splitter. Great talking to you. And
Thanks for
Phoenix
coming.
Princess, Nacho Daddy, Grills, of course, Larry, Rusty,
Jesse, everybody. Thank you
Jesse,
guys.
everybody.